December promises to be a great month for movies with the release of Darkest Hour, the latest movie from Focus Features, starring Gary Oldman as Winston Churchill and directed by acclaimed director Joe Wright, who I have here to talk to a little bit. Gentlemen, thanks for your time today.
Thank you.
Joe, I want to start with you because I read somewhere where you saw this as a very cinematic movie, and most people would think a cinematic movie is something that's sweeping with these large vistas, but this is a very intimate movie. Can you describe what you mean by cinematic in terms of a small, kind of confined movie?
It's really about trying to. It's a very dramatic movie. It has an amazing rhythm and pace to it. It kind of hopefully plays like a political thriller, and it's kind of angular and full of suspense and tension. So I that's what I was going for.
When will the lesson be learned? How many more dictators must be wooed, appeased, good God, given him mixed privileges, before we learn? You cannot reason with a tiger when your head is in its mouth!
You know, this movie takes place in the sum of about 3.5 weeks, which is remarkable. The amount of pressure that was put on Winston Churchill in such a small amount of time. Gary, based upon what you learned about him, growing up, what you studied about him and all of that, what kind of things did you find out about Churchill that you didn't know, and how you incorporate that?
I was shocked to revisit some of the footage, the newsreel footage. And the thing that struck me was the man's vitality and energy, and how vibrant he was. He was just, it was just one directional, a man on a mission. And he is often, he has been represented as a sort of rather grumpy, curmudgeon. And I was amazed at the energy and the humour that was on these newsreels. So that was one thing, and then just reading about the man and the list of achievements and accomplishments. It is a remarkable life. Yeah.
Joe, for you, there were so many elements to making this movie: transforming Gary into the character, getting the script right, getting the design of the movie and the way you wanted it. How long of a process did this take, and how do you put these pieces together?
Well, I guess I was working on the movie for 2 years, and I guess I put it together kind of brick by brick, really. If you look up and try and kind of take in the whole thing, then it can be overwhelming. But if you just focus on each step, next, then you suddenly you look back and realise that you've created this thing.
Gary, let's talk about the suit that you wore, the prosthetics. Very time-consuming every day to get into it and get out of it. How did that help you transform into the character?
Well, it's not the characterization. The actual characterization is, I mean, we were starting to see that, yes, in rehearsal. And
or even before that, when we were doing the makeup tests and stuff, we started to kind of play with the walk and so on.
Yeah, but of course it helps that, you're trying to capture the spirit of the man. You want a bit of Winston, a bit of Gary, but 2 hours 45 into the makeup, and you start to look in the mirror, and he starts to sort of come together, and then it was I guess it was just a thing that I found. I would arrive as Gary, start to go through the process, and when I would start to see him in the mirror, then Winston would come, and I'd start talking to everybody as Winston. Where's my tea? Fetch me my tea.
Well, we can't all wait to see it on screen in December at Cinemark theaters. Thank you guys for your time.
Thank you very much.